All right. I shall see you in about an hour, everybody. When the medium's mind is a little heavier, as it is now, then for us it is the best way. His mind is already suppressed, and there is less thought running through the mind, which makes it easier to push it to one side, if you like, so that we may stand here and undertake the work that we have chosen. In Buddhism, they use the word Namu, which is a Sanskrit word, sometimes translated as ki. Now, both of these words, in essence, mean to take refuge. But if you want, we can change the meaning to surrender. Surrender, of course, is a complex term. It is what everyone on their path will one day have to take, where they surrender their knowledge, surrender their attachment, and to surrender what it is they think they must do. Again, in Buddhism, they surrender to the triple gem they use, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. To truly surrender means you put down all that is what you consider to be important to you. And this is why when a student meets the guru, there needs to be a surrendering to the guru. Or if you want, surrender to Buddha, to their teacher. Now, the human ego has problems with this. It is your ego that wants you to not surrender, to hold on. That is the battle. To hold on to how it defines itself. In previous talks, we have spoken about the three paths and where all the paths eventually lead into one. To become the path of devotion or unconditional love. Of course, this is the path of surrender. You gain knowledge only to choose to let it go and to surrender into the eternal. In essence, of course, it is the practice of trance mediumship, to surrender, to let spirit do the work, to surrender into life. Again, I'll use the analogy just like your breath. It happens naturally. There is no conscious thought to it to make it something else. When you place your consciousness on it, you can watch it, but then there is a temptation to make it different, deeper, bigger, slower. There is nothing for you to do. The body knows better than you do in how to manage its existence. It's the same with your life. When you try to force your life, often there is resistance. When you surrender to your life, you accept and you drift with the stream. Often it is thought that if you truly surrender to life, then you would achieve or accomplish nothing or something that you do not want. You need to push to achieve. But if you push to achieve, you will accomplish your ego's goals and not your true self. This is what is meant by, in another talk, I said, when there is effort, there is movement. When there is movement, there is resistance. Again, using the analogy of the movie, you can just let the movie happen. If you cheer the bad guy or the good guy and boo the bad guy, you can divert things off into other ways, and it only affects you. Surrender into life, and then there is far more contentment. So even if you found yourself in the worst possible dire circumstances, let us say you're locked into a prison cell, a cell hidden deep within a cold and wet mountain, with guards who treat you badly. With the resistance, of course, there is anxiety and frustration and pain. But with the acceptance of where you are, there can be peace, a choice to make everything feel more comfortable, even within the cold, to take refuge, if you wish, within spirit. And the natural cycle of events will occur from there. The first thing to do is to accept where you are, rather than resist where you are. This will give stillness of being and the opportunity of choice. Let us say your partnership falls apart. The constant demands and reoccurrence of the pain that you perceive creates more pain. But again, what you add to life causes the pain. So much truth in that. What you add to life is what causes the pain. There are impressions that are being given to me to confirm with the one who got the message last week about Yahiri. I trust you understand that now, this week. Within this time, you would have had your confirmation. And you would understand, I hope, the connection back to your dreams and visions by that name. And I trust also that when you listen to this talk of surrender, there is a feeling within you, your heart, your being, of the desire to surrender. And your visions were asking you to surrender. Now you've asked, not of I and not of the medium, but you have asked, what does this mean? Why am I seeing these visions and images? What is it I need to know? And you have wondered for many times what to do regarding a certain situation within your life that is reoccurring. I suggest you listen to the last few minutes and understand acceptance of where you are is the first step. The correct course of action will come from the surrender, which of course is from the silence. You would know what I talk about. I do not need your confirmation by your voice. You have asked, you received a vision, and as I confirmed last week, I confirmed the validation before you asked for it. So your message on what you should do. Now, there is another phrase that I will connect to this talk, and that is the problem and the solution arrive at the same time. Until you sit with your problem truly, your challenge, you'll need to know what to do. You'll realize what you need to know is already there. Until you do this and truly do it, you will think what I am talking about is wrong. That the problem occurs and you may have to wait some time for the answer. The answer is already waiting for you to find it, to wake up to it. It is not something that is created later, it is there now. You will only find it with no effort, with surrender, with silence. duality occurs immediately. You must test to find out what I am saying is true. Now, let us carry on with our healing list. I believe we have a few names.
Yeah, yes, just a few. I'll get started real quick. Susan Lee, Tim Pritherick, Nicole Ives, Alexandra Irene, Angelina, George, Dimitri, Miria, Paya, Helen, Chris, Howard, Evie, Olivia, the DJ family, the Robinson family, the Green family, Helen Ferrier, Kat Rain, Lena, Sonia, Rosa, Asha, Coulter, Tim, Angie, Jason, and Ben, Emily and Paul, the Nazarene and family, Kate and Jim, Kevin and Vicky, Alan Brackett, Julian family, Simon and Eva, Mo and Vicky Hodgson, Betty and Sam Popov, Jerry, Maureen, Baby James, Chantel, Loretta, Michelle, and Francis Caputo, Ariel, Ed, Teresa, Neil, Jane, Laura, Kat, Eileen, Sylvia, Marie, Adria, Chris M, Tristan L, Vicky E, Katie, Isabella, Loy, Lee, Tracy, Neil Parsons, Raylene Parsons, Jennifer Doherty, Luke Doherty, Joshua French, Megan French, Carla Doherty. And finally, we all wish the medium a happy and healthy birthday.
The list can be as long as it needs to be. We hold all within the one heart. We hold all within the truth. We had peace and joy to each. There are many there that are suffering. Suffering because of illness and problems and difficulties. First, find your peace. And this will not make anything any worse than what it is. And from this gives the potential of any miracle that needs to happen. Let us think of someone who has a particular problem. Maybe one of those names which has been mentioned. The first step is to accept. Acceptance again will give stillness to the being. And from this, the truth will be discovered. Occasionally, it is when the person cannot see their depth or believe they have more than their physical body. They cannot accept that underneath all of what they face is a truth that will not be affected both by the most dire circumstance and the difficult situation. If you know some on that list, you would know the ones which are showing signs of improvement because they find first their peace. And then they will discover their answer. There are those here which may be on the list, which are, well, let us say, undertaking some trauma within their mind. The minds are agitated, being pulled left and right, never settling for long enough. Trying to find their way. What is my purpose? What should I do? What will make me, let us say, happy? The answer to these is always the same. Find first your peace. Find first your, let us say, your act of meditation. The ability to just sit and not do. Often these people get many opportunities to be in the quiet. The agitation comes of mind, of a needing to do or accomplish or to achieve. And that agitation is also coupled with a time where they need to or have to be by themselves. And they seek to answer their problem by more doing, only to be given more quiet. They seek the answer. But it appears at times they are given more loneliness, solitude. But they overlook the solitude, thinking doing is the answer. But being is the answer. Is your times when you seek purpose does it not come at times when you have alone time. You seek your answer in doing instead of be still and know. All amounts of chasing on the external world will feel like the external world is just running away from you. The more you run towards it, the more it runs away. Be still and know. When you are confronted with trauma in your family, your friends, or difficulties that you cannot resolve, be still and know. When you appear to have a series of events that go wrong, one, then another, then another, and within you, you think there must be a reason why all this is happening now. Why do I face this trauma? Be still and know. The pocket of knowledge is perceived as being somewhere up there, somewhere external. But the pocket of knowledge is internal, within the caverns of your mind. This is why you strive to seek an answer when you should sit. This is why you chase external gratification or accomplishments or certificates when you should sit. This is the meaning of let spirit do the work. The answer is there. The problem is out there. You need nothing. You just need to reveal what you already have. I've said before that you are like a tramp that sleeps on a box of treasure and yet refuses to open the lid. Anyway, do we have a question, Brandon?
Yes, we do. First question goes to Amanda. Amanda, would you like to ask your question?
Hello, Ignatius. What I'd like to ask you is about suicides, and now we have assisted dying. How does that affect a spirit when they cross over? Are they treated the same?
Are you talking about the suicide victim or somebody else
Yes, when a suicide victim goes across, are they treated differently? And now we've got this new assisted dying. How will they be treated?
Oh, assisted dying, my dear.
Yes.
Apologies. Well, no person, no spirit comes to spirit world unannounced. It is not a shock to us that you arrive. Maybe a shock to your side, but not to our side. There are many reasons why suicide may occur. Often, though, when those which come to our world from this manner may come bearing much heaviness from the material world. Heaviness of mind, maybe heaviness of body. They are full of regret, of problems, of a desire for change. So this is the heaviness that I talk about. When this occurs, they spend longer within their healing process generally. Now, even if they planned to commit suicide before they were born, the act is quite often traumatic and brings with it from your world to ours all of the pain and grief, regret, suffering, etc. So hence the need for them to undertake a little more rehabilitation. Even if they planned it to be that way. You see, the rehabilitation process is one of getting used to where you are, what has occurred, to see. Now, there are many reasons why somebody would commit suicide. That is not the nature of the question. So, in essence, I am saying they may take a little more time cleaning up and resolving.
And are they greeted by their loved ones?
There is no different to the process. We do not change our process because you pass in condition A or condition B. We do our work regardless. Otherwise, there would be judgment. Of course, if there was judgment, there would not be the purity of love. So we would meet them just the same. We meet the murderer the same also. We meet the mass murderer exactly the same. How can this be otherwise if we are the beings of unconditional love? Now, events occur after then, but those which are committing or have committed suicide, they had a choice. They honored that choice. And they may have done it out of either pain or sometimes out of love. All circumstances are different. Remember, remember, we are the beings of unconditional love. We will never say to you, you should not have done. We deal with what we have to deal with. It is in the lower realms that conditionality takes place, not with us. So from our eyes, you cannot sin. You cannot deter us away from you. Your desire to move away from us, your desire to commit a crime, a hurt, does not affect us one part. Remember, we see the ocean, you see the corner or the wave. We see your spirit, you see your human self. The human self you see problems and difficulties. We see the person watching the difficulties. But if you had a deep sleep, and let us say you had a very vivid and even if you wish more of a nightmare, on awakening, your heart may race and you may have the visions of whatever occurred and you think how traumatic, maybe sweats and difficulties. I'm sure you can imagine this. But within 30 minutes, you're back to your normal self and just recall it and tell your friends, I had this dream. And over maybe a matter of a few days, that dream would be lessened. Not forgotten, just, let us say, stored. That is the process of transition. You remember what occurred, but it holds you less and less, and you do not define yourself by it. This is the dusting away that I talk about. In essence, you do not arrive to us in perfect order, but within a little period of time. You will come back to normality. Unless you have strong awareness of this process and understanding of it, in which case you will walk through the veil, shedding your coat as you do, and stand in the sun. So you may hear stories of beings which pass, that if they are spiritual in nature, the process of transition is a little easier. So another way of looking at this is you have a muddy car that needs to be washed. Just takes a little while to wash all the mud off, but the car is revealed at its sparkling best. It was always there, but the mud was on top. And it just needs to be revealed once more. So the suicide victim comes into the light. The real victim, of course, of suicide is those left behind. The spirit becomes whole again within a short period. And there may be reasons for that pain that's left behind. Now remember, be still and know. If you are suffering from the loss of somebody, however it occurs, be still and know. The emotions will arise, the sadness, the grief, any other pain, it will arise. if you are truly still, the memories will remain, but the pain will travel through you. When you lose somebody, that pain can be remembered, and the grief over the loss can be remembered. But if you look truly at yourself, truly, you have not been damaged by the passing or the loss. You just feel like you have, but you have not. I trust this answers your question.
Yes, thank you, Ignatius.
Is there another?
Thank you for that, Amanda. Yes, just to add to that, George Val Owen was said to have transitioned well due to his understanding of the spirit world, clergyman of the Church of England. We do have a question from Roz. Roz, if you want to. Okay, I'll try to ask this question for Roz. Question is regarding karma. If someone hurts another, but their action was not done with the intention to cause harm, is intention what determines karma or cause and effect? One particular example is from a medium who believes that those who knowingly decide not to get COVID vaccinated are knowingly aiding in the death of others. However, I would think that surely these people strongly believe that vaccines are wrong and harmful. So the intent is not about causing harm to others so much as believing that they are protecting self. I'm vaccinated, by the way, but that particular medium's belief had me wondering about karma and intent. That's from Roz.
Well, the human world is the world of karma. The astral world is also the world of karma. Karma, of course, cause or effect or action. What you do will always create a series of events. It is impossible not to create a subsequent action from one action. I believe, in essence, you're asking, how do I step away from this? I will come to that in a second. Your intent, your purity, does not mean karma is not created. It just minimizes the result. So out of love, you do something wrong. Means that other things will still have to occur. So out of love, let us say you rob a bank. The police may say to you, well, I understand, but you still need to be punished for robbing a bank. So maybe in that circumstance, your sentence will be a little lighter. But you would still need to be punished for robbing a bank. Now, if you remember, there was the exercise given some time ago of build up love before action. Let love be your drive. you can see now from this example that there can be a different viewpoint. I would suggest to you, those which are saying vaccination is right and wrong, are living their own karma and will live their own karma, whichever way they decide. If you wish to step off karma, away from it, never to live it again, the only way is to purify your mind and to step off the wheel of becoming. Now, the wheel of becoming is rather a complex thing, but it is the cycle of life and lives. Find the spirit, and then you will realize the human self exists as a play. It is karma that causes attachment, desire, and avoidance. The three qualities of the continuation of life. It is the attachment to life, the life that you live now, which will determine whether you will live again or not. In essence, will give you karma. Life will continue to cycle like the never-ending movie. As one finishes, one starts. Until you realize you're in the audience. This is the stepping away from karma. So if you wish to do anything better to minimize your karma, build up love in your heart before action. In essence, of course, the love I am talking about is spirit. Spirit equals love. Build up spirit within your heart, love. You see, mankind, even if you come to terms that you are in the audience and not in the movie, all you can do is choose by what emotions you give. Do I add anger or do I have love? Do I add peace or do I add drama? That's all you can offer to the world. So you may be in a prison cell in that mountain that's cold and dark. Do you add peace or do you add drama to that situation? If you add peace, then for some time while you are peaceful, the burdens of life do not occur. Namo. Is the words we started with. Surrender. Let spirit do the work. I believe, Brandon, we are nearly out of time. In
Yes,
fact, I
that's
believe-
correct.
So let me just finish with this. As mentioned last week, we will begin or re-begin our direct education from Spirit. If you would like to come, please send an email to the medium and he will send you the links when they are ready. And I trust that there is someone writing this down, because he will not know, my medium will not know of these events yet. There will be 2 lessons, talks, guidance about how to connect and blend with Spirit, beginners and advanced. Here the lessons are how to for the beginners, and then how to deepen, how to surrender a little more for the advanced. Both of these are run by the personality you know as Charlie. There will be another, which, if you remember from some time ago, we tried to encourage the medium to write about. And this is called the Spirit Within. Spirit will be within, will be for those wanting to really look inside and to find their spiritual nature. You think you may know it, but do you? This will be more with exercises and homework and discussions. Run by myself. For those which are understanding of their spiritual nature and wish to let go and to discover their truth at the deepest level. They are looking for realization. Then the personality known as Chao will take you on the journey towards enlightenment. The 2 blending no more than 5 people. The other 2 with discussion, exercises, and things to practice can take a little more people, but certainly no more than 10. You wish to work with each. My medium will organize the days and the times once he knows. And as last time, you may pay whatever you wish. Let money not be an obstacle. If you wish any of these and no details, just send the message and he will know then to send the links when they are ready. And we will endeavor to give him more sleep. Until next week, bring your questions and your names for healing. Trust that they are being held within the one heart. God bless you all.